Good day, YouTubers. Today's vlog begins with a short clip taken on my trip to town today, and then we'll continue with my story for today.
Look at the boat. I guess I should turn my car off. I've been here a while. No, the last of it's coming. These the motorcycle ones that were on TV the other day?
I don't know.
Well, you don't watch the news.
Oh, turn this chair around here where I can talk to y'all. This Pwalpar. I thought I'd do just a little quick vlog. It's 68 degrees out here on the porch. I'm in shorts, believe it or not. And this is the 1st of December. It's cool, but it's not cold. I got downright hot when we went to town today to pick up a sandwich. I had a sweatshirt on though. I was dressed way too warm. You see that old office chair over there, my computer desk? It was in front of my computer desk and it done broke down. The middle section went right through the feet, dragging on the floor, so I had to retire it. And I'll need to drag it out there and put it in the truck, but the dump is closed today, so I won't be hauling it off today. I went in the basement and dragged up an old office chair I had down there and brought it upstairs. It sits much better than that one. I was looking at some of my junk in the basement a while ago and I saw my old CB down there. Saw my CB radios, and it reminds me of some of my CB radio days. And it brings to mind a story I thought I'd share with you just a little bit. I could talk CB for a long time and tell you various stories, but that would be far too long. The story I'm thinking about today happened in, well, for those who don't know, CB radios were real big. I had a whole community of people, and we lived in Marietta at the time. It was sort of like YouTube. You got your own little community of friends, and you get to know people. And you made some great friends when I was into CBs. And we belonged to React. We did safety breaks and coffee breaks and stuff for people for safe driving, give people a break to pull over and rest, and different community functions. But that's not what my story is related to. At home, we lived in a mobile home park for 15 years, and I was big on building my own antennas. I had a big old beam antenna mounted to the side of the house, and you could talk 50 miles on that thing without batting an eye. Cell phones hadn't come into being yet, and CB radios was a big thing. If you went on vacation, you talk to people up and down the road. You'd get the advantage of knowing where the police were, and less likely to get a ticket for speeding when you're traveling back and forth. We went to Pennsylvania a lot back then, and did a lot of traveling to Florida and back. So that CB radio came in downright handy, and I was very well known around the Marietta area as the home brew. And I got that handle from making home brew. I used to make it 5-gallon churn. My churn is still upstairs, and it wasn't what you would call very good beer, but it would sure give you a buzz. And I thought, well, that'd be a good handle for the CB radio, so I became known as a home brew. And people would call me up on the radio they'd hear me on there talking on my channel. I was on channel 2. And each night you would sit there and most of the people in the neighborhood watching TV or whatever. A lot of people in the area had base station radios. I had a base station radio. I had mobile CBs in all the cars. And I was just a big time radio buff. Well, down the street from me was this fella's name was Sneaky Pete. His handle on me was Sneaky Pete. And Sneaky Pete's wife was up at my house talking to Contrary Mary, that's my better half. She would get on the radio occasionally and talk to one of our friends if she'd know him, but she was just a whole lot like she is now on YouTube. She doesn't participate much in that. And she very seldom got involved in my conversations on the radios, unless we were talking to Big Mac's wife or somebody. And a couple other friends we had around there. I ain't got time to name everybody. But I'm down at Sneaky Pete's house, and that's what my story was about today. Me and Sneaky Pete was working on his car. And I called Big Mac or somebody on the, might have been the Pwalpar man, and asked him a question about the engine we were working on. And whenever I was on the radio, people would hear me. Hey, homebrew, how are you today? I'm pretty good. And you wind up sitting there talking to this D104 microphone, talking to people. I'm doing pretty good today. I hope y'all doing all right. And this voice come booming over the radio. It was a woman's voice. Hey, homebrew, I hear you on here all the time. I forget what her name was. It doesn't even matter. I said, yeah, I've heard you out there. I've talked to you a couple times. And we did a lot of things like answering emergency calls, and when somebody would have a car wreck, we would call the police department or 911 for them to get them some help. And when it was my turn to monitor, I'd be monitoring Channel 9. But she said, I hear you on Channel 2 all the time. I said, yeah, I've talked to you 2 or 3 times. I said, you doing all right? Yeah, we're doing okay. I'm just out here with Big Bob, and I'm thinking, well, that must be your husband. And I said, oh, I didn't know you was married, or something to that effect. Well, I ain't married. I'm just on a date with Big Bob. Do you want a date? I thought, oh, I was drunk. My mouth fell open. I thought, oh Lord, what have I done got myself into here? Unbeknownst to me, Contrary Mary's up at the house listening in on my base station. You know, people all over here, they can hear your conversation. So you don't say nothing off color or out of order, unless you want everybody in the world to think bad of you. Well, I'm trying to think, how am I going to get out of this jam? But it wasn't less than 5 seconds. You know, I was coming up with some kind of answer to, no, I don't think so. But before I could get the words out of my mouth, we heard Contrary Mary's voice come booming over the airways, and my radio was a powerful radio. You could hear that radio talking for 40 miles. It wasn't no little weak mobile radio. And Contrary Mary's voice come booming over the radio and said, hell no, he don't want no date. Half the people out there went to laughing. And I thought, oh hell. I get in the worst trouble sometimes with this dang radio. She very seldom got on the radio and said anything, but she sure jumped on the radio that day. I'll never forget it. Said, hell no, he don't want no date. Oh Lord. But I did a lot of good with that radio. I've still got a lot of memories from things we did. I remember one particular time some lady got to grieving and went over in the cemetery and shot herself with a gun. And somebody seen her out there and called Break 9, Channel 9 was the emergency channel. Break 9 for a React Club, and I answered. We need the police over here at the cemetery. Some lady done shot herself. got to grieving over her dead husband or something. So I called the police and said, better get over there to the cemetery. Some lady done shot herself. And I heard them, I listened to the police. We had a police scanner. I turned that on and listened to it. And it wasn't long. I heard the policeman call his dispatcher and say, yep, she has shot herself. Send the ambulance over here. So we did some good things with them radios too, but we had made a lot of friends. I used to go deer hunting with Big Mac and work on cars with Sneaky Pete or the Pwalpar Man. And I just had a good time with that radio. I still miss those days, but it wasn't like clear. Well, it was kind of all over the place. It wasn't as clear like talking on the cell phone nowadays. Cell phones put CB just about out of business. But just in case anybody wants to offer me a date, hell no. Pwalpar don't want a date. Thanks for tuning in. This is Pwalpar saying thanks for listening today, my friends. We're going to end the story right there.